Yes, yes, people, it's me, Miss Jarena Star. I'm back with another vlog. Let me just clean my window. Sorry, my camera. So yeah, today I just want to do a vlog about the so-called Kingdom of Kubala that have occupied a Scottish forest, some Scottish forest, and yeah, so these African tribe who claim to be from the Kingdom of Kubala and are the last king of Scotland, and basically are reclaiming their ancestral land in Scotland, in the forest, and they literally have been camping out in the forest. So when I first saw them, I thought they were just such an eccentric bunch. I thought they were just like, I'm not gonna lie, I had a giggle because they made it on primetime news, they made it on Sky News, they made it on BBC. These black people, including the king, you know, they just do such random rituals. And I've had a proper giggle because they take it so seriously that they are from the lost tribe of the Kubala. And the main king is dressed in his African regalia, and his wife dresses like the character from Wakanda, Queen, in, and has all the everything, whatever regalia marks, And then they've got now a new member who joined them all the way from Florida, who is the handmaiden to the king, and has joined the tribe. And I just find the whole thing very. I mean, I just find them brave. Like, but obviously the British public are just like, who the hell are these people? Why are they camping out in the Scottish forest? They just sound so doolally, and the whole like trying to evict them business, like the whole eviction thing is just hilarious with the share, with the, what is it, sheriff and the mayor or whatever it is, bringing out a leaflet, a piece of paper saying that they must be, evicted from the land, blah blah blah. And even the guy doing the eviction can't help laughing because then they do the whole ritual thing like "Hashababa, hashabala," whatever it is they do, like go on the floor and kneel to him, like it's just so bizarre. And even the people, the local Scottish people who come and try and like sabotage their tent and everything, they go there and they don't succeed. They actually don't succeed because the whole thing is so bizarre. Like, how random are these people? First of all, why would you camp in a Scottish forest? It's cold. However, this summer we've had an unusually warm summer, warm autumn, and Scotland is still sunny. Like, it's not cold, it's not rainy. So apparently Scotland had wildfires this summer. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, the other day, like Friday, it was 26 degrees in the middle of end of September. So the kingdom of Kabbalah have clearly brought the sun with them from Africa. And Scotland is just still warm and they're still camping out, thriving in the forest of Scotland. And then even the Scottish people in the comment section on like social media, they're like, wait until the winter. You know what, don't kick them out. Let's just see how they survive in the winter. Let's just see how they survive. And they're surviving in the winter. But I just wanted to, like, okay, it seems like a joke and everything, but they do actually have a claim, because as somebody who's an anthropologist who's read lots of books and have lots of books, I even have, my book collection is vast. I even have like flipping old books about the wild plants of Britain, which there are some amazing flowers which are edible, like ancient edible flowers. So they are thriving. They know exactly how to survive in the forest, because this knowledge is, like, black people are very, very resourceful when it comes to living off the land and eating nutritious food. And you can actually survive in the forest of Britain because a long time ago, the forest was a place where the native black population of Britain would run to, like when their country was occupied by invaders, they actually ran in the forests. So, in fact, there were a lot of black British pygmies, which are these little short black people, and they thrived in the forest. So, these Kingdom of Kubala people, these black random people that are there, they are not as potty as they sound. They actually have a point. For example, in Scotland, there was a people called the Black Jacobites, who were sold into slavery into America. And these Black Jacobites are in America. And that's who I think some of these people claim to have claim to. But there has been a lot of black people living in the forests of Britain. That has been their retreating place when the occupiers came on the island. The invaders came in, like the Danes, who were just so horrible to the native Brits. Like they were so savage, like the Danes and the Germans. So these native, peaceful, nature-loving black Brits who are so in touch with nature, who know about all the wildflowers of Britain, they know how to survive. They thrived in the forest. Eventually, what happened was they got chased out of the forest and sold into slavery, and also mixed in with the population. They became slaves, basically. They were indentured slaves in Britain, and they basically became slaves of the invaders and eventually married in, or they just became like Welsh people who were just like shoved in the West and forgotten about, and that's why we have Welsh people now. But the Kingdom of Kubala people, they're not as, they may seem very eccentric and a joke, but they will survive the winter. Let me tell you something. They will survive the winter because they're in touch with nature, and it's actually a very, very mild autumn right now. And like whatever is being done on them, the police will go there. They will not leave the forest. I don't see them leaving because there is also a lot of what's the word? There's a lot of frequency there, and that's due to the ancient black pygmies that used to live in those forests. They're obviously buried underneath, and when they tread on the earth, they're activating this ancient power that these pygmies had, and the Picts. Yeah, that's it. The Picts were yeah. So these Picts have a lot of knowledge. Like this is like hidden knowledge, and they know something. These Kingdom of Kubala people know their ish, so they know what they're dabbling in because they actually have a point. They look crazy, but they are definitely in touch with the ancient people that were downtrodden and murdered and sold into slavery. And part of that knowledge is like in the trees, in the ground. So wherever they walk, like even when they were given the eviction notice by the sheriff, the so-called king, looked at him and said, "You can't get rid of me because this land has been given to me by the Most High." And they just know, like they have information because a lot of these Picts and all these pygmies that used to live in Britain, they were also in touch with the celestial sky and star energy. Like they were aware of the time, like they knew the future. And right now we are, oh my God, the wind, wow. The wind is ferocious tonight. The wind is ferocious. Wow. Anyway, so as we enter the dawn, the wind is, the angel Raphael's really like going there with the wind on the island. But anyway, as we enter the era of the dawn of the Aquarius, we are going to see a lot more of these native black Brits that claim ancestral links with the ancient black Brits. And it's all connected because, Britain's first religion was African deities, following the African cosmos, African way of life. And as you can see, this lost tribe called the Kingdom of Kubala, they know their stuff. They've definitely done their research. And we're going to see a lot more of that. And they're not crazy. They may sound crazy, and I'm not gonna lie, I've had a chuckle, I've had a laugh at some of the things that they've come up with. And however, they actually have a point. Like, that's why they've been allowed to. Well, that's why they've managed to get away with so much, like staying there and thriving there, because the nature, recognizes them and their lineage and what they're doing. Because we have entered a new age of Aquarius.